suddenly I found myself tossed into this dark place.
I was so scared. I don't know what else to say.
Before Italy, I had a happy life. It was very important for me to get out of my comfort zone and see if that made me turn into an adult.
When I was with Amanda, I was so happy. What happened that night?
Amanda Knox.
Did you kill her?
Sex. I mean, some of the information that came out was just completely made up. It made headlines all over the world.
The trial of the decade.
It was just crazy.
The whole world knew who I had ever had sex with.
She was terrified.
Amanda!
I felt like a child again. And I knew I was a kid.
Okay, Richard. I mean, a lot of people have opinions about this. She's very innocent or she's very guilty. What's your takeaway?
Well, my dear friend in Seattle there has worked very hard on this case, and and she, Anne is just devoted almost her life to this case, and every time I watch her and listen to her, I hear her passion, and I know what she believes in her heart. Let me say a couple things about the case. We, as Americans, had a very difficult time understanding the procedure utilized in Italy for the trial of the case and the retrial and the appeals and everything. And it's just a very hard pill to swallow when we're brought up and we understand when you play, football, the field's 100 yards long and, side to side is a certain distance and all that stuff. But basically, Canadian football is different than American football. I mean, it's just different, different set of rules.
Definitely a different set of rules.
So basically what's happened is it's a different set of rules. And you go to a trial, there's a verdict, then you take an appeal, then there's a retrial in the appeal level, which is insane. Then there's another appeal. Then there's a retrial on that level where more evidence is deduced. I mean, it's very frustrating. I will tell you this, okay? It's a tragic case. It is such a tragic case. And it was handled forensically horribly. The prosecution had so many issues and corruption and everything under the sun there. But I will tell you, from what I saw on this trial, I have seen convictions in the United States with less evidence than they had against Amanda Knox in Italy. And having said that, I'm not so certain that she's innocent. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know. I didn't watch the trial every single day, but from what I've read,
have you watched the new documentary yet?
And I'm telling you, in my heart of hearts, and I've seen a lot of these cases, I'm just not so sure that she is so innocent.
Do you think maybe she knows something about it? Like she knows?
I think it's
what
more
happened?
than that. I think she's involved with it. I think that absolutely. It's my opinion. It's conjecture. It's speculation. Anne's going to kill me. She's going to hate me after this. But I'm just telling you, I've seen convictions come down. There's just a lot of coincidence here. And this young girl was just tortured and killed, and these two people were together, and I'm just not buying it. I'm telling you, I'm not buying the defense. I'm sorry. And she's home.
What if she came out with a book? Does that bother you?
Well, look, she's her life's turned upside down, and
True.
And by the way, I would not blame her for not going back when she was here, and they had another trial there, I mean, oh my God, are you kidding me? I wouldn't have gone back either. But, if she would have got convicted again down there, we have a treaty with Italy. We have a treaty, and they would have to extradite her and return her to Italy. And we covered that on CNN, and I think 100% that they would have extradited her and brought her back, and we would have turned her over, because we do have that treaty with Italy. But look, she's home now. She's writing books. She's doing things. I'm sure maybe she'll be on Dancing with the Stars, and the beat, as the late great Sonny Bono once said, and the beat goes on. And look, her life is going on right now. She got through it. Gotta have been a torture for her down there, sitting in those prisons. But if she did it, she got away with it. If she didn't do it, oh my God, the torture she went through.
If she did it, she still suffered for a good 3-4 years.
Yeah, and she knows in her heart of hearts, if she did, she knows that.
Right. So I guess what I'm taking at you is you don't know for sure, but part of you thinks maybe she did it, and part of you thinks there's a possibility she didn't do it. Do I think she did it.
No, I think she did it. I think she did it. And I'm sorry. And look, we don't want her to have done it. She's a good-looking woman. We want her home. She's an American citizen. We want her safe. We want all that. But there's a Kercher family, and that's their daughter who got killed there. And they're just too close. Knox and her boyfriend are just, they're there, man. And there's a knife, and there's blood, and and they're there. And it's a problem. It's a real problem. It just didn't happen, And this one guy who's sitting in prison right now, he's probably the innocent one. And just, didn't have an attorney, or I don't know what happened. Something went really wrong with him. But I'm just...
You got to get a show with Ann Bremner now, with you debating her. Hillary and Trump.
She'll start screaming at me, and I'll have to defer to her then, because, she's, again, she devoted her life to this, and she's certain that Knox is innocent, and she fought very hard to get her back here, and, Ann should be commended for that. I mean, she really should be. But, what can I say, brother? People have different opinions on what happened here, and people just don't die. Cats don't chase dogs, and people just don't die. And something went down here, and I think Knox, at a minimum, knows a hell of a lot more than we know she's said.
Well, God will be the ultimate judge at the end of the day, I believe, if she did it. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's